So apparently there's a big shakeup coming to the cast of Married to Medicine for season 10. And what is the future exactly for Jen Shah? And finally, I can talk about this new show that I was told about at BravoCon that is a summer house spinoff with an all-black cast.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Happy Monday. Where did the weekend go? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Be sure to check out some of the things that you missed. Even a late night live video that we did yesterday talking about this petition in regards to Todrick Hall and the new show, The Real Friends of WeHo, and everyone weighing in on Drag Race and how I should be watching it. Check out that video along with some recaps that we had from over the weekend, including Loving Marriage DC. But speaking of reality TV and speaking about shifts in reality TV, I'm sure also over the weekend you saw the story that broke out that Married to Medicine is going to have a big cast shakeup. Well, this came from The Hollywood Reporter because they did an interview with some really important people behind some of your favorite reality shows. And although people are just talking about the Bravo-related areas of this article, there are some really interesting things that come out, especially when we're talking about diversity, when we're talking about, yesterday when we were talking about Todrick Hall, bringing up we need to see more LGBT people in the forefront. Well, apparently, The Ultimatum, I don't know if you guys watched that. Apparently, they're doing a queer version. I might have to watch that because there are not a lot of dating queer LGBTQ plus content out there. I do agree with Todrick in that regard. Stay tuned. I'll let you know. I'm going to get into it. But The Hollywood Reporter did an article, and they said, the article's titled, "We Haven't Really Had a Breakout. Top unscripted TV execs on controversies, trends, and the next big bets. The minds behind The Bachelor, Real Housewives, Love is Blind, and more discussed facing social media uproar. What is Jen Shah's future? Another white bachelor? Cast legal drama and how to find the next genre-defining hit." So they do talk a lot about diversity, and as I said to you before, I'm going to cite my sources in the description so you can read the full article because it's worth it. If you want to really understand how these executives think about reality TV and why they make the decisions that they make, then it's worth reading because a lot of people will say what they, a lot of fans will create, oh, this is what they do. This is how they decide. And no. And this is why at BravoCon, here we go talking about BravoCon again, but they talk about it in the article too. I love the panels with the producers because it's important to kind of get an idea of what they're thinking. So The Hollywood Reporter spoke to a few different people. They said Walt Disney Television Executive VP of Unscripted and Alternative, Rob Mills, they spoke to. NBC Universal Senior VP of Unscripted Current Production, Kathleen French. Bravo Media Senior VP of Current Programming, Noah Sampton. And Kinetic Content, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, founder and CEO Chris Colan sat down with The Hollywood Reporter during separate phone calls to discuss what's working, off-camera controversies, and what it takes to find the next smash hit. So Kathleen French, who is a VP over at Bravo, talked about BravoCon and the impact BravoCon has. So she says this, that's an easy one in regards to what stands out when you reflect on 2022. She says that's an easy one. The big story was BravoCon. The BravoCon of 2022 was so great for fans. so great for our Bravo celebrities and just spoke to how amazing Bravo is because really, what other network could have done that? I was just taken aback by the amount of fandom for the Housewives series. At the panel for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the fans were lined up for hours, and it was standing room only. This is a show that is going into its season 13, so it speaks to, first of all, the power and the fan love of the Housewives franchise, but then also specifically Beverly Hills. And I said this before, if you've listened to my podcast where I talked about my BravoCon experience, I really was surprised. I don't know why I was surprised, but seeing it all in one house and them doing their own convention, you haven't seen a network do something like this. Whoever thought of this idea was a brilliant idea because it really does invigorate fandom into a network, into these shows. Even shows that you may not even be watching outside of Real Housewives. Noah Sampson says, such a great year of resurgence for a lot of our shows. Some big pop culture touchstones moments. Nicki Minaj as the guest host for the Real Housewives Potomac reunion felt like a really big one for me. Really exciting moment for the Housewives and emblematic of the way that we've expanded our reach across the zeitgeist. So they also talk about The Bachelor, because I don't know if you've been watching the news in regards to this next Bachelor, Zach. It's another white Bachelor, and a lot of people were calling out The Bachelor for not being more diverse. But they're saying that watch the season. In response to this question, diversity remains a key topic of discussion in unscripted TV, as we saw with social media debate over Zach Shallcross' upcoming season of The Bachelor, representing the second white star in a row after Matt James was the first ever black lead. Why was Zach the right choice? So one of the people behind the show says, I think it is a feeling. We were lucky with Gabby and Rachel's Bachelorette season that we met with a lot of great guys. Zach seemed to be the right guy. The guy that was really looking to find his person and settle down and just felt like at the time he would be the right guy, which is how we go about it every season. Obviously, we've made strides in diversity. We need to keep doing more, and we will. But everyone's gonna see Zach is a fantastic Bachelor, just like any of the other candidates we've met with would be as well. And the reason why I'm pointing these things out, because I do want to talk about the other elements of conversation that they're having in this article, but it's also important because when we talk about other related things that I want to talk about. So as I mentioned to you before, there is a new version of The Ultimatum coming, and it's called Queer Love, an LGBT version of the Netflix dating series. That's coming as well. And a lot of you have been talking about Southern Hospitality. You haven't told me that I need to watch it, but in regards to it, they say our series Southern Hospitality is very representative of what's happening in the South right now. This is a very diverse cast of a close group of friends, and sexuality and diversity is just who they are. I don't think it's necessarily something that is acknowledged as being different. And a lot of you were like, are we going to get a second season? And they're basically confirming that a second season is in the works. I haven't gotten into the show, guys. You will let me know in the comment section if it's a show I should watch and start talking about. So one of the other things that you may have noticed over this last Love is Blind season, Lauren Speed, you may remember she was a part of season 1 of Love is Blind, had spoken out about how she would like to see more of the Black women and Black couples highlighted on the show. So this question was posed to one of the people behind the show, and they said this. First, I would say I love Lauren. You couldn't find somebody who is bigger fan of Lauren and Cameron. And honestly, I'm honored to have played a tiny part in their success story. I will never pretend to be able to speak to everyone's point of view. On Love is Blind, we invite a very big pool of people to participate in the show. Not everyone finds love. When we do have more couples than not, the way that I lean into deciding who it makes sense to follow is who feels authentic. Our track record for picking genuine couples is pretty good. By the way, including Lauren and Cameron. We chose to follow them. They didn't choose that. They continue, they said, it is really easy for people who don't have a complete understanding of what goes into the process to have points of view about the process. And I think that's great. We all should have our point of view about the process. All I can do is be authentic, tell the truth, and in doing so, create an amazing platform and opportunity for people to affect real change in their lives if they choose to do so, and create an amazing show for the audience. Okay? And that goes to, we all say that we want diversity, and I think diversity is important. But what also is important, what you all say in your reality show, is that you want it to be authentic from behind the scenes and in front of the camera. All right. So they also talk about Jen Shah. So as you know, Jen Shah and her future, she basically told the judge in court that she is still a cast member of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But you also know that she recently came out and said that the one-on-one interview that they were planning, she's not doing because there are stipulations that Bravo wants that she doesn't agree with. Okay. So in regards to this, they said the past year was notable for headlines involving some of your cast members' real lives, including legal drama surrounding the Real Housewives stars Jen Shah and Erica Girardi. What goes into navigating it? So they respond, they said, Samson responds and says, with Jen Shah right now, the last thing any of us expected and the last thing, frankly, any of us wanted, although it has been compelling television. I don't think anybody sits back and hopes that somebody commits a crime. But we cast people with very big personalities from all walks of life. You don't know where their lives are going to go, although you do know generally that crazy wild things are going to happen. When they do, you have to assess the best way to cover it and move forward. And you have to balance what's the right kind of story to tell and what represents us as a network with what you've already given to the audience. You've invested them in somebody's life. It's a really challenging question for us always, and it's something that we reevaluate every minute of every day as we go through different experiences with different cast members. I can only imagine. As the audience, we all think it's very simple. Oh, why are you following this person? And why they're just hiring criminals all the time? I mean, when you're at places like BravoCon and you see these big personalities all come together, you can only imagine what it is like behind the scenes. You have to be a certain level of something to be a part of reality TV, to be a real housewife. So I can only imagine. So they continue. They say, I always think it's about the trust and the relationship between production companies, the network, and cast members. The more that we build a level of trust with them, the more honest and open they are in telling us what's happening in their lives. So they also give us an update in regards to Jen Shah. So Jen Shah, they say, we really have not made any decisions, and we're discussing it all the time. And we're trying to figure out what's the best course of action in moving forward. I mean, I think we already have our answer, but okay. We always reevaluate. There are a lot of people we stop filming with and then start filming with again. It's not math. It's not a simple equation. We try to make into account as many different aspects of what's going on as we can. Does that mean, even though you stop filming with Mary, that possibly Mary Cosby could come back to Salt Lake City? Very possible. I know the fans always say, well, you don't show up to a reunion and it's done for you. Yeah, not if their bottom line, meaning their money, is affected. And there is still a large amount of people that want to see Mary Cosby come back. And I asked the question the other day, who would shake up the Bravo universe the most if they returned? I think Mary Cosby should be a part of that conversation. What do you think? All right. So moving on from there. They also talk about Lisa Rinna, but Lisa Rinna's on pause, so we're going to skip that. I want to talk about this, though. So they asked the question, in what ways can your team's programming still grow in the new year? So Samson says this, it's always about growing the brand and exploring different things that we can do. In recent years, you've seen a little bit more of crossover from different franchises with Ultimate Girls Trip and Winter House. A lot of those crossovers were born out of BravoCon and seeing how our cast have all developed real relationships with each other beyond their shows. I'm always excited for new and different shows. We have a show right now that I'm working on, a Summer House spinoff with an all-black cast in Martha's Vineyard. Let me tell you about it, because I wasn't sure. See, I'm a little bit more, what's the word? If you tell me something is a secret, I try to keep it to myself unless you tell me I can share this information. So I was at BravoCon, and when I was cited by producers, so I was minding my business, just walking around, the expo and in the situation, And I did see the producers of various shows like Potomac, Ultimate Girls Trip, Dubai, all together. And someone says my name, and I'm like, hi. But no, then we have a really, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw the pictures that I posted with the producers. Lovely, lovely people. And really, they get what I have to do and the things that I talk about. They watch the content. And I appreciate that. So they also have an idea of what I might like and what my audience might like. And they did mention and drop tea back in October that we're working on this spinoff. I think you're going to love it. It's an all-black cast. But they didn't tell me the Summer House aspect because I don't watch Summer House. And a lot of you say you don't have to. Damn. But maybe I do. I will be watching this one, though. I will be watching this one. So there is this Summer House spinoff that's going to be an all-black cast in Martha's Vineyard. And if you are Black, then you know that this is natural. I have friends that have gone to Martha's Vineyard for the summer for years. So a lot of you are very excited about this news. And when it comes out, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. No promises on a recap. But because you guys want me to recap everything. But I will probably at least give it a try. I will give it a try. I'm going to give that damn Real Friends of a WeHo a try. So I'm so glad that now they're confirming that this is coming. Because all I heard was that it has already been filmed. It's an all-black cast, and that it was in Martha's Vineyard. The last part I got through another source. But congrats, producers. I'm excited about it. Okay. And then lastly, that I want to talk about, Married to Medicine. And I love how they called it Married to Medicine Atlanta. As you know, there have been some spinoffs of Married to Medicine that have not been successful. But it makes me wonder, are they going to try again? Because Married to Medicine Atlanta has been great. 10 seasons. They're going to their 10th season. Great. I did a rewatch and a watch of Married to Medicine over the years. That show has been great, even up until this last season. I know some of you are tired of some of the things, but you're still saying, no, this is still a great show. Well, they say this, Married to Medicine Atlanta is going to have a great season 10. And this is from their mouths. A big shakeup. Can't tell you exactly yet. They also say Southern Charm just started shooting this month and big changes in the cast there as well. I don't watch that show. They also continue to, for me, the little engine that could, Southern Hospitality. We've just had a nice kick up in ratings, and I'm hoping we're going to see big things from the series in the future. So promising there will be a future for Southern Hospitality. And more shakeups in Southern Charm. I watched Southern Charm when it first came out, but then I never went back. Sorry. But back to Married to Medicine. So I want to talk a little bit about this because, as you know, the last thing that we reported on in regards to Married to Medicine was that Phaedra Parks was being considered. And then Carlos King confirmed that she had been approached by Real Housewives of Atlanta producers, but she wanted too much money, apparently. And then she was offered something on Married to Medicine because she's been dating this doctor for a year. I'm going to say this again. Producers, if you're watching, I'm not interested in Phaedra coming to Married to Medicine because she's dating a doctor. If she's engaged and she's not on the Robin Dixon timeline and she's about to get married.
I don't want to hear anything else out of her mouth about my family.
Okay. It's called Married to Medicine for a reason. Let's not start a new trend. Okay? I do believe that Quad might not be coming back. If you're going to say a big cast shakeup, I don't see, look, Quad, I'm sorry, girl, my Taurus sister, but I'm trying to get you a job on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think she would be a good fit there, but that season's over with. Damn. I do believe that Quad won't be returning. I do believe that either Dr. Jackie or Dr. Simone won't be returning. If you had to choose between Dr. Jackie or Dr. Simone, who would you choose? I like Dr. Jackie. I think Dr. Jackie is a grounding force for this show. She's sort of like the Cynthia of a cast, so you kind of need her there. Dr. Simone tries to be that grounding force, but we talked about this during last season. Dr. Simone and the forced storyline with Cecil in this book, it kind of fell flat, and I like Dr. Simone. But if there's a big cast shakeup, I definitely see one of those two going. I definitely see Quad going. A lot of you do not like Anila. Damn, Anila. But we like Dr. Kieran. We like her mom. And we like having this Indian couple on the show. We like having that level of diversity on the show because we already know when we talk about people of color, it's not just Black people. There are plenty of other people of color that should be on television. That's why we love Shahs of Sunset. Where is that announcement, producers? We know they're working on a spinoff. Stop playing games. But I don't see Dr. Heavenly going. No matter how you hate or love her, she's the perfect example of what I say. She's the villain that you love to hate or you love to love. She is. I don't see Dr. Heavenly going. But I do see that, remember, Dr. Heavenly has said that Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone's relationship is not what it was. Even though they try to make it seem like it is, it's not. So it will be interesting to see they break that relationship up off of the show. I have a feeling it's going to be between Dr. Jackie or Dr. Simone. I do believe that they're going to try to bring Phaedra on the show because she's dating a doctor, but she's still being very mum's the word about any relationship. But she's been like that since we met her. But if they bring I'm about to say Dr. Phaedra. If they bring Phaedra on, I mean, some people want to see Phaedra and Quad together. Not really. Not really. I feel like they're very similar. I would take either one. Okay? And then we'll bring Quad on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I've said this, and I've been a big advocate for Audra coming back. You know, she just got married. She just had a baby. She's a lawyer. And so that might work with her and Phaedra. And she's actually married to a doctor. And I personally liked the relationship. They were a funny couple. They meshed very well with this group. I know a lot of you did not love Audra because you felt like she was trying too hard when she was going up against Toya. I like her. I want to see her get a full-time position on the show. I think they would be great. I think they're a great fit. And look, let's be real. Bravo is trying to skew to get younger. They are. They're trying to skew younger, so that would be another benefit for bringing Audra and her husband on the show full time. And look, and they've really been, although they may have not known each other before this show on Married to Medicine, this cast, specifically Audra, they've been hanging out since then. They were there after she had her baby, or even leading up to her baby. So they're really trying to have real friendships off of the show. I can appreciate that about Married to Medicine. Guys, I want to hear your cast predictions. Who do you want to see go on Married to Medicine? Who do you want to see stay? Who do you want to see come on? Do you want to see Phaedra come on with her doctor that we haven't met, that she hasn't married, or is even engaged to? Just saying. And are you excited about Southern Hospitality being renewed? What are your thoughts on when they are talking about diversity and this new ultimatum queer version that's coming? What are you looking forward to? Let's continue that conversation in the comment section. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.